Hope everyone had a great week. Welcome to the first general body meeting of the fall semester for Hack UCF. I am Michael Teresi, the current president of this club. So let's start right into it. So first things first, we changed our constitution recently. So to keep up with SGA standards, we're required to keep attendance of all of our active student members. So basically what that means from you is just if you follow this link up top, the hackucf.org/sign-in, all you need to do is give us your name and nice email, and that'll get you registered for the attending this meeting today. And that's a requirement because if you want to be a voting member, all you have to do is attend half our meetings. If you're unable to do that, you just can't vote, but you're obviously more than welcome to come to any of our meetings and workshops. So you can do that anytime throughout the meeting today. So that's there. Let's move on to today's topics. So we're going to start off with some announcements about the club, some of the stuff that's going on. Then we're going to do a little quick who are we kind of presentation to let everyone know what we're all about. We're going to make a quick announcement about SunshineCTF. Then we're going to talk about some of the committees we have. And that's some extra stuff you can volunteer for and get really involved with the club if that's kind of your thing. We are going to be welcoming 2 of the captains for our competition teams, if that's kind of the route you want to take. Then we're going to go over current events, do some topics covered. And then near the end, we're going to do a little breakout activity. Let everyone get to know each other a little bit more, do a little social talk, and then we're going to do a bit of closing. So if you're interested, how do you become a member? All you have to do is hit up hackucf.org/join and just fill out some 4 steps, basically. Just do a membership form, fill out an ethics form, basically a liability thing, because, we teach hacking, all that cool stuff, We got to do step 3, you just pay dues, that's real easy. And then step 4 on Night Connect, which is kind of the important bit to finish this out. If you visit our club page on Night Connect and request membership, once it gets approved, you are now officially a member. And then after that, you can do the mailing list, step 5. That's optional, but we do send out weekly emails about the meeting times, the workshop activities, and any current events that's happening with the club. Another place to do that information is the calendar. So that's also at hackucf.org/calendar. It'll keep you up to date on all the events that we have for the semester. So things like the general body meetings, the workshops, anything else we have going on, that'll be there for you to see. It's a Google calendar, so you can add it to your phone or whatever else you have, so you can see those along your day-to-day. Now, this next bit's pretty cool, I think. We actually have Webcourses now. So since we're all remote, in case you haven't noticed, school is currently not too kind to the idea of meeting in person. So we try to help that out, and we have Webcourses now. So once you become a member, you'll be sent an invite, and you fill out the membership form and all that. You'll be sent an invite to join our Webcourses, which you'll see that on Canvas. On that Webcourses, we'll have more calendar information, such as our general body meetings and workshops. And any supplement material along with that can also be on our Webcourses. This will give you a nice, easy way to view all the things that's happening with the club and the workshops alongside your classes, since you're going to spend most of your time on Canvas anyway. And I know we all love Canvas. It's just going to be a nice place to view everything on a single pane of glass. So yeah, to find more information about like general club stuff, here's how you stay informed with us. The mailing list I talked about before, it's just you can put any email you want, and we send out weekly emails about general body meetings and workshops and stuff like that. We also have a Discord. We highly encourage you to join that. That's where most of our communication takes place. We're all on it. You can talk to our members. We have conversations there. We have some interest channels for competition teams. It's really good. We hope to pop that off into the semester. We also have a Twitter. We post some cool cyber stuff. We retweet some stuff by some industry professionals who talk about cool stuff. It's just Twitter. We all know what that is. So if you're interested in helping run the club, so help run workshops, help plan workshops, help give ideas for general body meetings, you can join operations. They meet every Monday at 7:30 p.m. The meetings are going to be on Zoom, because we all love the Zoom U. They're open to anyone to join, and the invitation is going to be on our public calendar as well. So anything going on, you're welcome to read the public calendar, and that's where everything's going to be. So, next week, we will also be voting on the club budget. This is basically done so that we can spend money, and everyone's cool with where we're going to be putting the money. In order to vote on that, you have to be a dues-paying member and be listed in Night Connect. You can, again, if you want to join, hackcf.org/join, and those steps that were brought up before. And just in case if anyone wanted to go back through this, all these slides will be posted to our website at some point after the meeting. So now I'm going to bring up Peyton momentarily to talk about the BAS workshop that we'll be hosting.
Okay, everyone. So I will be running the first workshop tomorrow at noon. There will be no experience required. In the past, we've done like a VM setup, but that's a little bit difficult. Instead, we're going to be doing it through an online portal I found. So I have some good content for that. There's a link to the overview there, and I'll also try and drop it into Discord here in a minute. So if you want to join, the link will be in Discord tomorrow, and it also is on the calendar. So feel free to come on tomorrow. Let's go to the next slide. And CCDC is also coming up. So CCDC is Cybersecurity Awareness Week, as hosted by the NYU Tandon School of Engineering. It is a very, very big international, I think it's international, college event. One of their big events is the CTF, which is run primarily by a bunch of industry experts. We will be competing from September 11th to September 13th. We will most likely be competing alongside some other schools, as well as against a lot of major schools. No experience is required. This is one of those things where everybody can show up. It's mainly solving a bunch of puzzles, a bunch of really fun cybersecurity related puzzles. If you want to join in, the easiest way to do that is go to bot commands and do .role nightsec. Those instructions will also be in the slides, which will be posted later. More information is to come out about that, so stay tuned. Next slide.
Okay, thank you, Peyton. So we also have night hacks. If Harold is here and can unmute himself real quick, he's the VP of Night Hacks. He'll just do a quick tidbit about them. You want to plug them?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Harold Padilla. I'll make this really quick. I'm the Vice President of Night Hacks. So this is another club. This is unrelated to HackUCF, or at least it's completely separate. It is focused on software development, personal projects, and programming. So we have weekly meetings and workshops in order to network with other students and recruiters, build a sense of community, and we also host the annual hackathon. That's where our name comes from. Hack refers to kind of like making projects and building these competitions or creating these things in a weekend-long event. We have over 700 people attend. This year, unfortunately, we're doing it virtual, but you can see on the shared content that there's our Discord. That is actually where we have the most amount of communication, just like Hack at UCF. So definitely join the Discord. And we have our kickoff meeting next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Definitely join the Discord for that announcement. I will also put into the chat a mailing list. So just in case you want to keep updated, through email instead of just Discord. But yeah, definitely reach out to me if you have any sort of questions. If you join the Discord, my tag is Harold the Barrel. Just feel free to just message me if you have any questions. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I appreciate it. I'll address this really quickly. The difference between Night Hacks and HackUCF. HackUCF, cybersecurity. Night Hacks, hacking is referring to programming, like project building in a certain period of time. It's just like making a project in a whole weekend time. It's not directly relating to cybersecurity. It's just a term that's used in the hackathon community. Don't ask me why that name was chosen. Thank you guys so much for your time. Appreciate it, and have a great rest of your meeting. I'll still be here.
All right, thank you, Harold, for that. Talk about Night Hacks. Remember, Thursdays at 7:30. So what exactly is HackUCF? So we've been around a few years, made some headlines only on Times Square. We've won, our CCDC team has won first place at nationals 3 times in a row. And that's kind of what we're looking at here. We've got some teams throughout the years. They do pretty well, we like to think. We've got some of our workshops here. We do cool stuff. One of those is about lockpicking. That seems interesting to some. Here we've got B-Sides. That's kind of our volunteer team 2 years ago. And then kind of the year before, after that, the team grew. And we did some good work with them. You can check that out later. And we also do some social events. We've done in the past when we can meet. Unfortunately, that probably won't be happening this semester for obvious reasons. But we do things like barbecues, we go to restaurants, we did another lockpicking workshop, stuff like that. So if you're interested, stay tuned for more information. So who is HackUCF? Throughout the years, we've had both our members and alumni to this day working at the following companies you see here. These companies use us as a good resource for sometimes recruitment efforts, and other times we have representatives from these companies give out some presentations on our general bodies, or sometimes they even give us workshops. So if you're interested in any of these companies, I would stay tuned for any workshops that we do. We teach you some industry software, some cool tools of the trade, and a lot of the stuff that we do is favored highly by these companies. So that's kind of who we work with and who's worked with us in the past. So after all this, let's do a brief introduction for who the current exec board is. For both any new members or any returning members, we did have an election last April, so here's some new faces you might see around. So you have myself, I am the current president, Michael Troisi. Along with us today is Vice President Ryan Karnofsky. Unfortunately, she cannot make it today, but our secretary is Marissa Castro. And our acting treasurer is Addison Cobble. If you guys are here, can you give us a quick hey?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey. Ryan's looking like in the cyber lab, real good. So let's give it back to Peyton real quick, and he'll give us a little SunshineCTF info.
So if you guys remember back a few slides, we were showing the B-Sides volunteer team. So one of the big things that we do there as Hack UCF is present SunshineCTF. SunshineCTF is a very, very large event that we hold every year. It's now getting to be pretty highly regarded within the CTF community. We host about 500 teams. We estimate even more. I say 500 teams because I forgot the number from last year and I pulled that one off CTF time. So that's 500 registered competing teams. There's many, many more. So that will be hosted with B-Sides Orlando here in November. We will be having a new belt. The belt is being made and we're gonna figure out how to display that or otherwise ship it out. So we'll figure that out then. Maybe we'll get another surprise Ian video, I'm not sure. If you want more information, sunshinectf.org is our website. And if you go ahead and contact me in Discord, then that will show that you are interested in creating SunshineCTF challenges. One of the big things Hack UCF demonstrates here is our ability to make very good CTF challenges. So if you have good ideas or you want to present an idea or any of that, feel free to contact me. I can get you into the SunshineCTF Discord. I will also put the invite for the SunshineCTF Discord into our Discord. It's a separate Discord. So that should turn out very, very good this year. We are hoping for a larger than usual audience and have good sponsorship from Google Cloud. Good to go move on to the next slide.
Thank you, Peyton. So next up, some cool stuff we're looking to too. Let's have Daniel have a quick moment. Talk to us about the social committee.
Hi all. So we're going to go into a lot of like really technical things today, and we're going to show you a lot of things that you will someday be able to do. But we've gotten some feedback over the last couple of years talking about how sometimes we focus a lot on the technical stuff, but we don't focus a lot on the more social aspects. And that was the reason for the social committee, the inception of the social committee last year. So I want to introduce our team real quick. From left to right, we've got Marissa, who is also our executive liaison. She is unfortunately not here today. We have myself. My name is Daniel, but you'll see me as variable name in the Discord. We've also got Colin Harold. You just heard from him a little bit ago, pitching Night Hacks. And then our newest member, G. Blake, who just joined the team a little bit before semester started. Can we go ahead and get the next slide, please? So some of the things that we want to talk about and just like bring out, knowledge to y'all is one of the big things we worked on over the summer was getting our merchandise store set up. We usually do a run of t-shirts and occasionally hoodies, but we've gotten a lot of feedback about wanting hats or other different clothing items. And we figured that the best way to bring that to y'all was to actually set up a store. So that is live now. And if you go there, you can feel free to browse and make a purchase if you'd like. If you don't see something that you would like, feel free to reach out to us and let us know. We're definitely taking in as much comments and suggestions to improve what we have available. And we'll have a lot more of that as the semester goes on. Next slide, please. So one of the other things about the social committee is every single semester, we have to do a non-technical social event. And Corona has made that really easy on us. Not really. But since we're going to be virtual, we decided that the best way that we can bring a social atmosphere to y'all is to organize a get together and try to do some things through our Discord. And we're going to do that by way of Jackbox and Minecraft for our fall social event. And we're still getting some ideas on what we want to do for our spring social event. We're also throwing around the idea of doing some hacker movie nights and figuring out the best ways that we can actually like get organized to do that. So if this is something that y'all want to do or you're interested in at all, feel free to hit us up and let us know if you are fans of Netflix or if everyone's got Prime or if we just want to do something off of YouTube. We're really open to suggestions and we really want to give y'all the best way to like kind of connect and have a social atmosphere even if we all have to stay home. Next slide, please. This is another big thing that happened over the summer. We got notice that UCF was going to require masks for all on-campus attendance. And we thought that it would be a really cool idea that if we're all gonna have to wear masks, at least we could have something cool. So we got together, we brainstormed some ideas, and we came out with a NetGator design. And we got those produced, and we have them now. They will be posted in the store shortly after the first meeting. They'll be available for purchase. This is one of those items that we have a little bit of leeway on, whether or not we hand these out or we ship them to you. So if you are not in the local area, don't worry, we can definitely get them shipped to you. But if you are in the local area, if you're close by UCF and you'd like to make arrangements, we're planning to do at least one big distribution event. So if you've bought one in a couple of weeks, we'll be able to get those to you. Details are still a little fuzzy, but we'll definitely be throwing a lot more information at you as time goes on. So stay tuned for that. Next slide, please. All right, so in the past, we've done a lot of software focused stuff. We've done a lot of networking focused stuff. And one thing that I've noticed that we haven't done a lot of is hardware stuff. And this is something that is a personal passion of mine. I find it really, really interesting. And a couple of our other ops members thought it was a really cool idea too. So we're bringing this out. We're trying to see whether or not we can get it off the ground or not. What we would like to do is put together a printed circuit board badge, similar to like the DEF CON conference style badges, and make those available to all of our members. We want to do something like along the lines of like a dev breakout kit, but we're not exactly sure yet. So if you're an electrical engineering major or you're a CPE, or you just have an interest in hardware at all, this is the project to get in on the ground floor on. We've got a lot more details. We'll talk a lot more about this as the semester goes on, but feel free to ask about this and we can have conversations about it in Discord. Just as a little caveat on this one, if you look at the picture in the top right corner, those badges were actually designed by one of our alumni who has been so kind as to come back and to give back to the community and has given us a lot of information about how to build, what software to use, and may be able to come back and give an actual like discussion on hardware hacking and how to design your own like circuit boards for whatever it is you might need to do. But we'll get to that more as the semester goes on. Next slide, please. Cool, guys. So that wraps up what I've got to share with you as far as what we've been doing. But if you want to be a part of what we're going to do, feel free in the Discord to just @Social Committee with a message saying that you want to join. Now, there are a couple caveats. You have to be a dues paying member and you have to remain an active student member. And we covered that a little bit earlier on, but what that means is you have to show up to at least 50% of our general body meetings and you have to have paid dues. You also have to have a Knights Connect email and you have to be a UCF student. If you meet all of those things, then you will have voting rights in our committee. If not, you're more than welcome to still show up, engage, have conversations, talk, and participate. But we meet on Thursdays at 5 p.m. We keep that open for everyone in the Discord, so you don't have to be a member to join the meetings, but you do have to be a member to vote. So if you have questions, feel free to hold those until after the whole presentation. Hit me up on Discord. I will answer everything I possibly can. Cool. Thanks, Tracy.
All right. Thank you, Daniel, for that quick presentation. Now let's give it over to Peyton to discuss his infrastructure committee.
Hello again. So the infrastructure committee is here for any and all infrastructure as related to the club. right now, Alex and I are the co-chairs of the infrastructure committee. We are currently in charge of the cloud presence for HackUCF, so AWS primarily, as well as the policies and procedures regarding HackUCF infrastructure, making sure that we have things like Cloudflare and Cloudflare access in front of everything, proper SSH usage, etc. Next slide. So the biggest thing that we have been working on is getting our own private cloud set up. What you may see with the Cyber Lab is this thing behind me, but another big part of that was a generous grant from Lockheed Martin and to the CECS department, which allows us access to a large amount of hardware. We are currently a team of volunteers trying to design and implement our own private cloud. So a very, very large project, very intense, but also it's a very good career opportunity because you get to learn a lot of the mechanisms required for things that you'll see in industry. OpenStack is becoming very popular for companies that want to run their own private cloud and private cloud infrastructure. Next slide. We are right now in the process of getting approval from the provost to complete our purchase of new racks. So currently we already have about a quarter of our infrastructure in, but in total, once everything's ordered, we'll have 320 cores of multiple AMD epics, 2.3 terabytes of RAM, 120 terabytes of spinning disk storage, plus that's only spinning disks. We also have a few, or probably 20, 30 terabytes of SSDs in there. And this is all, of course, part of the generous donation from Lockheed Martin. So we got a lot of presents and we got to figure out how to manage this thing appropriately. And so it's a big, tough job. Next. If you are interested in learning anything about the infrastructure, message us in InfraPublic. We're going to try and make it to where people can learn. That is, once you become a member of the committee, we want you to help manage all this. So come learn and then work your way into becoming a member of the infrastructure committee, which will help design and implement this whole project. Go on to the next slide.
All right. Thank you, Peyton. That's kind of everything about the infrastructure committee. Now let's have Michael Roberts come up and talk a bit about the CCDC team.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Roberts. I am the captain of the CCDC team. CCDC stands for Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition, and it's a national competition that we've competed in for the last 8 years, and we've had the pleasure of getting first or second 6 out of the last 7 years. So it's a competition we enjoy and had a lot of fun doing. It's really open to anyone that enjoys cyber defense, any skills in system administration, or willingness to learn about Windows, Linux, firewall administration. That's a lot of what we do. We also have business tasks and other tasks that need to be completed during the competition. So if you're interested in getting involved, join the HackUCF Discord that's been mentioned a few times. And in that Discord, we have a CCDC channel with further information. Next slide. Okay, there's other defensive competitions as well. Some of them happen in the fall semester, and they can be joined individually. So here's 2 of these competitions listed, Hivestorm and Cyberforce. It's 2 competitions I've personally done and other people in the club have done as well. We've all enjoyed it. So definitely websites to check out if you're interested in building your skills for free. Individual competitions that you can do at any time. And this information and more information about these and other competitions will also be shared in Discord. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Next up, let's have Alexander come up and talk about the CPTC team.
Hello, my name's Alex. I run the CPTC team, which is Collegiate Pen Testing Competition. It's like CCDC except red. So what that means is it's all focused on penetration testing and hacking into, corporate networks and stuff. It happens in the fall. We already have a team. The tryouts were in the spring. We're going to be doing tryouts in the spring next year as well. So if you want to join the team and you're not already on it, then, practice up and get ready for the spring. It's for anyone that enjoys cyber offense, and it's primarily focused on developing skills that would make you a better penetration tester in the real world. Next slide, please. We also do other offensive competitions. Raymond James is an example. It's canceled this year is because of Rona, but it's you know, it's a cool competition because it has a $4,000 reward for the winning team. We also have Monopoly, which is open to anyone. It's a King of the Hill style offensive competition, as well as ISTS, which is an attack defend competition in Rochester, New York. So all sorts of competitions available for both defense and offense. That's my slides.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Now let's have Sarah give us some current events.
Hey guys, I'm Sarah. I'm a sophomore here at UCF. I'm an IT major, and these are my current events slides. So next slide. Microsoft's August Patch Tuesday. This month's Patch Tuesday fixed 120 vulnerabilities. 17 of those that were patched are considered critical. 2 of those were 0 days, and for those of you who don't know, 0 days are vulnerabilities that have been acknowledged for 0 days. So yes, thank you Microsoft for patching Windows. Next slide. Garmin got ransomware. On July 23rd, 4 days of outages, including call centers and aviation-related tools, were down. $17 million in ransom was paid out. So don't click on links. That's usually how people get ransomware. Don't download things. There you go. That's the lesson for that. Next slide. So Xcode projects are being exploited to spread XSSE malware. This can be used to infect the machine with different kinds of malware. XSESCT is run when Xcode projects are compiled. It is unknown at this time how it got into those projects. Next slide. So IBM found a vuln in IoT chips. The IoT chips are manufactured by Thales, which is a French company. The chip is called EHS8 and has a vulnerability that makes IoT devices that are running the chip highly susceptible to attackers. This is one of the things why we should look at IoT devices more critically. Maybe we shouldn't make our stoves connected to the internet, just a thought. This vuln was discovered by IBM's X-Force Red in September of 2019, is currently being resolved. I think that's all my slides.
Yep, thank you, Sarah, for the current events. I believe now we're going to talk about briefly some of the fun topics that we cover here at the club. This is not an all-inclusive list, but this is just some of the fun stuff we picked out for today. So that's going to be, I believe, Payne and Daniel.
Yep.
Going to give us a tag team. So first up.
Yep, so if you guys find any of these topics interesting, feel free to ping around in Discord. We just wanted to bring up some topics. So binary exploitation. So getting to mess with, you know, all the programs that run on machines. This is primarily at a lower level, but this is the core of when you see something like a big vulnerability or exploit released. So you get to do lots of fun stuff like x86 reverse engineering along with pwn. Binary exploitation, if you don't know, is also called pwn. And we'll get to show some cool tools and how to use these throughout the semester and throughout the year. And this is also a really good topic if you want to do CTFs or government work. Next slide. Reverse engineering, kind of sort of the same thing, kind of sort of. There's a lot of arguments. They're kind of different focuses. Reverse engineering is given a program or a thing, figure out why it does what it does. So when you look at your C homework, when it gets compiled down to a binary, what does that binary actually do? A lot of this goes back into more and more research and a lot of really cool, fun projects you can do there. Once again, more workshops and stuff to come throughout the semester, but just something to keep in mind. Next. Web exploitation is a very, very popular one. This is whenever you see something like XSS or SQL injection or LFI or CSRF, any of these big fancy words, cookies. A lot of this stuff has to do with web exploitation, web security. If you are a developer and you want to build websites and you want to build them securely, this is a good topic for you. We'll do a bunch of workshops and CTF challenges and all that in order to try and cover a bunch of this stuff. Of course, bring it up if you want to. Next slide. Homelabbing. So this is a really, really popular topic. So getting to set up a bunch of servers at your house or otherwise in order to learn what it's like to manage some of this stuff. So for example, you may want to set up a web server or, you know, a WordPress site or a database or a Minecraft server or media servers or whatever, large storage arrays. I have a little NAS over there that you don't see. Getting to learn how all this stuff works prior to getting into the field is a really, really good idea. I know a few people personally that they got a lot of their knowledge prior to getting a full-time job from Homelabbing. There's lots of good communities, and I can bring those up in Discord if you want me to. Next slide. Systems administration, kind of sort of the same deal, except at bigger scale. This is a lot of like, if you want to run a Linux server, you want to run a Windows server, you want to run a web server, you want to run something securely, such as, the infrastructure for HackUCF. This is a really good topic for you. It's a really, really well sought after position when you get up to the higher levels. This is also the beginning of where you start getting into a bunch of fun break-off paths, such as site reliability engineering, SRE work, or DevOps, or cloud engineering. This is where a lot of that knowledge comes into play. And of course, you have to ask yourself when you look at every server, does this server spark joy? Next slide. Alex is spinning up we got a robotic vacuum and Alex is playing with it and he needs to turn off the vacuum because it's about to come attack me. Networking. So this was where I got a lot of my start. So how do you actually get computers to talk to each other? How do you get them to communicate with each other? How do you get servers to work together? How do you get things to work across the world? My favorite test here in order to show people exactly how powerful this is try and trace route to a server in Korea and you get to see the whole path to Korea. Very long path and you get to do it from your chair, a very short flight. You get to learn things like firewalls, IDS, IPS devices. You get to learn how to stop vulnerabilities in the air. I am between going back to a company that does a lot of malware analysis in the middle of a connection. And you get to learn a bunch of stuff like that. A lot of really fun, lots of lucrative work here, as well as fun topics of stuff that you can set up at your house. Next slide. Of course, the other kind of networking. We also have personal networking in the Discord. This is a really, really important thing when you're with HackUCF or even at UCF or in college or general. Get to know a lot of the people that you're at school with because they will be coworkers and people at different companies and people who offer you opportunities at different places. I literally already see that somebody is connecting with me on LinkedIn. Like I just saw both my things notify. That's fun. I'm gonna get notification spam. So feel free to spam me. Like feel free to connect with me. Feel free to connect with anybody here. Everybody loves connecting on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an amazing tool for networking. Next slide. This is right now my big specialty is automation in Python. So you'll get to learn things like how do you get, how do you protect, a fleet of, I don't know, tens of thousands of Kubernetes clusters or hundreds of thousands of servers without having to spend hundreds of thousands of hours. Lots of really fun work here. It's a really cutting edge field. A lot of good work, even outside of security in terms of automation of Python. But in terms of security, there's a lot of really good work here. There is a competition which Palo Alto Networks is running soonish. I'll have to go grab the link again, where you could win good money if you make some Demisto playbooks. Next slide. And this is on to Daniel.
All right, so starting off first is cryptography, which is just basically like, I love math and I like hiding things with math. There are a bunch of good resources here, but if you've ever wondered about how exactly it is that you send something securely over the internet and or you prevent someone else from getting access to all of the fun things that like you store locally, cryptography is where it's at. Now, when we do like CTFs and things like that, crypto comes up pretty often, and understanding how most implementations work in crypto is a great way to be able to just rack up points easily in those games. We don't teach a bunch of crypto, but we are always open to teach what it is that we know. So that's definitely something on the board. Next slide. Steganography is a fun little game of flipping bits inside of an image to hide something. Sometimes it's hiding images in images. Sometimes it's hiding executables in images. Sometimes it's hiding whatever else you want inside an image. It doesn't necessarily have to be an image either. Sometimes it's hiding all kinds of information inside of an audio file, or just hiding things inside of other things. The uses of this are pretty profound, and you would be surprised at what it is you can get away with if you have a little bit of time and are pretty clever. Next slide. Finally, we come to lockpicking. This is my personal favorite. I've taught a couple of workshops on this, and I really like dig into the lockpicking stuff. PhysSec is one of those things that's not super talked about a whole lot when we talk about cybersecurity, but realistically, if you can get physical access to something, it doesn't really matter how great your software protections are or anything else that you've built into the system. If I can lay my hands on the box is mine. That's just how it goes. Part and parcel of that is recognizing how it is that physical barriers to entry can be defeated, and you do that non-destructively. So, I mean, anyone can kick down a door. That's not particularly difficult, but can you get into that door and do whatever you need to do and then get out of it without anyone knowing that you've been there already? And that's the tricky part. When we were in physical session, this is something that we like to just pull out whenever we were all in the cyber lab or hanging out and just kind of lockpick. We've got an entire set, and should we be so fortunate as to be back physical soon, those things will be things that we'll be like teaching as soon as possible. In the meantime, though, we are definitely like looking into available opportunities to teach you how to pick locks virtually. If that is something that people are interested in, hit us up in the Discord, let us know. We can make a lot of things happen, but we just got to know what it is that y'all really want us to make available to you. Next slide.
All right. Thank you, Daniel and Payne, for those quick topic highlights. So what we're going to move on to now is kind of a little social time for everyone. Normally, if we meet in person, we have people sitting next to us side by side, and we do a little small talk. But that's going to be a little more difficult doing this remotely. So what we're going to go ahead and do is for about 10 to 15 minutes, we'll see how things go. We'll give you a little icebreaker question, and we'll split everyone into breakoff rooms. You're welcome to talk amongst the members, just with not only with the question we present you, but also anything else you want to talk about the meeting today. So that question we're going to start off with is, what is the most important facet of cybersecurity? And you don't have to be experts in the matter to think about doing this, but we'll do this for the first time and see how things go. So let's see what happens. All right, be back in like, I guess 10, 15 minutes. We'll see. First time for everything. All right, yep, people popping off. So let's, we'll call this one. We're just hanging out, but yeah, see you guys in Discord.